A gigantic midwinter storm buried the Northeast in snow on Saturday, leaving behind a debilitated and disoriented region digging through plump white drifts and reeling from gale-force winds. Painting a white landscape from Maine to New York, the storm expressed itself much as weather forecasters had predicted. New York City eluded its worst bite, and muffled-up pedestrians trooped along slushy sidewalks as insouciantly as after any matter-of-fact winter snowfall. But points to the north and east were battered hard. More than 3 feet of snow fell on parts of Connecticut, and more than 2 feet accumulated on Long Island and in Massachusetts, causing coastal flooding that forced evacuations of some Massachusetts communities. Hundreds of thousands of people shivered without power in the biting cold. Wind gusts of 80 miles per hour cut power lines and toppled trees. The storm, spawned by the collision of 2 weather systems, touched more than 40 million people, though early reports suggested it accounted for only a handful of deaths. One awful case involved a young boy shoveling snow with his father in the Dorchester neighborhood of Boston who died of carbon monoxide poisoning after he retreated inside a car to warm up. The exhaust pipe was blocked by snow. Mayor Michael R. Bloomberg expressed relief at a Saturday morning news conference that the city had avoided worse damage and offered to assist the more heavily pounded neighboring states and Long Island, the hardest hit part of New York State. Most roads in the city, he said, were well on the way to being cleared, and he thanked people for staying off the streets during the storm. The accumulation in Central Park was measured at 11.4 inches by the time the snow relented at daybreak Saturday. "I think it is fair to say we were very lucky," Mr. Bloomberg said. But for many areas, this storm will rank in the top 5 of recorded snowstorms, said David Stark, a meteorologist for the National Weather Service in eastern Suffolk County on Long Island. Outside his office, measurements have been taken since 1949, and this storm beat them all with 30.9 inches. "The way this evolved was a very classic winter nor'easter," Mr. Stark said. "The way it formed and moved is well understood, and it is the type of situation we have seen in the past, but this storm brought more moisture and therefore more snow." The National Weather Service received reports of flooding up and down the Massachusetts coast, especially in areas just north and south of Boston. Water carrying slabs of ice sloshed through the streets and lapped against houses. The National Guard was dispatched to assist in evacuations. Waves off the south shore of Boston and parts of Cape Cod measured as high as 20 feet. 2 feet of water was observed in Winthrop, Massachusetts, just north of Boston. Waters breached a seawall in the Humerick section of Scituate, while roads in Gloucester, Marblehead and Revere were reported flooded or impassable. At a news conference, Government Andrew M. Cuomo said New York would send crews to Connecticut and Massachusetts to help remove snow and restore power. Some streets in Connecticut resembled ski slopes or mountain passes. People could not open their doors. With snow still falling, the Weather Service said it had reports out of New Haven County of 36.2 inches in Oxford and 38 inches in Milford. In Comac, on Long Island, 29.1 inches of snow was reported at 6 a.m. and 27.5 inches at MacArthur Airport in Islip. In Boston, where the sun finally broke through about 2 p.m. Saturday, the official accumulation was 24.9 inches, the 5th highest in city history. On Long Island, the storm barreled in so quickly on Friday night that hundreds of drivers abandoned their cars as roads became impassable, even with snowplows working furiously. Scores of cars including tow trucks, semis and even county snowplows were strewn about and stuck in the snow along North Ocean Avenue in Brookhaven, which had received 30.3 inches by 6 a.m. "God was kind last night because it was a terribly dangerous situation," Governor Cuomo said. "Many people got very lucky." Barbara Bariciano, 43, a house cleaner, tried to shadow the plows, but the snow snapped both windshield wipers on her Honda Civic Hybrid. "My knees are shaking," she said when she stopped at a gas station to scrape snow from her windshield. "I'm going to stay right here for a while." Many people in New York City woke up early to snap photos of snow-topped street lamps and make fresh tracks on their way to find the best hill to go sledding. Or they looked to pick up income. In Red Hook, Brooklyn, Ashley Faria, 18, snow shovel in hand, had just cleared a neighbor's stoop and sidewalk and collected $20. "I enjoy it, it's peaceful," she said. "I'm listening to my music. I could do it all day."